Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Dirt Rally, and it's episode number 24. We are on to the final 3 stages here in Baumholder in Germany, Deutschland. We just went through a long stage off camera, a couple stages off camera actually. But after not being on here for a while, if you follow the channel closely, you'd see that it's been a couple weeks since I have posted a Dirt Rally video. Reason for that being that is some of the games are now in a cycle of rotation, and this is one of them, so it's going to be a little less often on the channel. And after not racing for a little while, and still being on this new wheel, I quickly had to adjust and get used to things. So on that last stage, it was a long one, and I started off with actually a couple mistakes that I had to overcome and get through. Luckily, nothing too costly, but the first half of the stage I lost about 50 seconds. The second half of the stage I lost just 12, so much better after some early mistakes and catch it back on quickly. And here we go now, on to the next stage. Position was unchanged in the overall, but with a minute and 2 lost, I did drop back a little bit further.
100. Right 5, half long, don't cut.
And you see already just how much better I am, just 1 second off the pace here at this point.
Caution right 6, into immediate
A
hairpin
little difficult to see through here.
Hairpin right. 60. Right 4 times 3, don't cut. And left 2, half long, keep mid, bumps. And left 3 past junction, through gate. Right 5 long, past junction.
A little bit slow through there, but kept control.
Left 5.
And that's the main part. I might have lost a second or 2 in there, but
40.
same through here, where I certainly could have gone faster. However, there's just not much traction through that section. And overall, I will happily take 4 seconds.
Turn right 1, don't cut.
So it was really only, what, 2.5 lost?
60. Caution left 5 bump, don't cut, be brave.
And this is one of those, he says be brave, but you crash like every time.
3 bump, don't cut. 60, keep right. Left 6, don't cut. 80 crest. Caution right 3, don't cut, keep in.
This is actually the section that I lost that 50 seconds on, so I'm doing much better this time.
Left 6 continues 150.
50 seconds versus 4, so
80 past lane lights. Caution turn right, don't cut. Immediate left 1, don't cut. 170. Right 5 long, don't cut.
Looking
Into
much
turn
better
right,
here.
Dip. Don't cut. 40 past junction. 80. Left 4 long. And right 6 times 3 past junction.
Woo! I read it.
Go back the other way.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Opens 100.
Just that little bit of grass.
Left 4 don't
Right
cut.
rear,
Mid past junction.
right rear hitting the grass.
60
Just
crest.
lost all traction, turned us around. Other than that, that was our only mistake here on the stage, and only a little bit of time lost anywhere else. That one certainly cost me at least 5 or 6 seconds getting that back around, getting it righted. But 17 overall, 4th on the stage, ahead of Clark, ahead of Olsen. Not bad for not playing for a while. Position remains the same here in 5th as I close it down on Clark a little bit. My gap to Olsen now over a minute. DeLuca drops down. He had a mistake there, a costly one, some sort of damage that cost him 2 or 3 minutes there. And last 2 stages, comfortably into 5th. I might be able to squeeze out a 4th, but at this point, and on the wheel, Just looking for some consistency here. I had a chance to do repairs. Not too much damage to deal with, but there are a few parts that are hurting. Drive shaft, one of them. Certainly the wheels, they take a big beating here. Okay, stage 9.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Keep left over crest into turn hairpin right, don't cut. 80.
I was braking way too soon, but I thought it might be one of those blind ones that you overshoot immediately.
Cut, 80.
Actually, off to a slow start here.
Right 5 continues for 100. And left 5 long. Into turn square left, don't cut. Down.
Glad I caught that. I was thinking it was a square right
200
from the look of things, and then I
right
had to double check my ears on that one. And did I hear left? And then it turned up, and sure enough.
Square left 200. Past junctions. Turn square left, don't cut past junction.
5 seconds down.
80.
Some of that, a big part of that's that
Caution,
slow
turn
start.
open hairpin left, don't cut, ditch outside. 100 up. Past junction. And caution, turn square right, don't cut, gate on exit.
By the way, I like this stage. All these tight turns.
Right 6
Short, hard acceleration, and then strong, hard braking.
Into turn square
Tight
right,
turns.
cut, ditch inside, 100.
All about braking zones, kind of hitting the right timing on your braking.
Caution, braking through dip, turn square right, narrows.
And that's one right there. That's the easiest turn to mess up, because you got that little bump. Whoa! It's airborne. Oh, that sucked.
80. Turn square right, opens,
Okay, only 1 second off the pace there, and that was all lost to the
200 through dip.
that little touch on the grass where I was near the edge of the road. I was where I wanted to be, but touched the grass, and that's what's going to happen. Braking way too soon on that one. Definitely time lost there. Still doing good on the stage overall. This is another one of those that's so easy to overshoot.
Left 5 long. Right 6 long, don't cut, ditch inside, 80 past junction. Keep left, into turn right 3, don't cut, 80. Turn square right tight, don't cut. Into left 5, opens 100.
Good time, just 7 seconds down. Be nice if I had some green, and I know in the past on a gamepad I've certainly had green on stages like this, but for the wheel, still getting used to things.
Immediate turn hairpin right, don't cut.
I'll take this.
Turn left 5, don't cut, be brave. Into right 6.
And one of these days, I gotta learn to start using the handbrake, especially on those tight turns.
Left 4.
That's a whole different can of worms in driving style. That you know it, or you don't. Oh, come on, it's a bush! Get over that bush. There you go. Bush caved.
And keep left over crest. Turn square left, don't cut. 100. Finish.
Such a tight stage there. Just constant left, right. Second for the stage. Manami is nowhere in sight. Retired with a blown head gasket. Ooh, poor Manami. From the race lead to retired for something so minor like that. Crawl and Lima both losing time too. This is going to move me up. Unfortunately for me, I only gained 5 seconds on Clark. And if I didn't have the bad 50 seconds, I'd be ahead of Clark by about 10 right now and in 4th place. I'm actually still in 5th. I'm still in 5th. Manami was already down the standings. Okay, so that didn't just happen. That happened a while back. Dahl has been on top with Vasily behind for a while. I just had not noticed the absence of Manami. There you go. I am very comfortably into my position with just 1 stage to go. There shouldn't be anything to change that, and it's going to take a huge time gain on a short stage in order to get anything here to get ahead of Clark. So I'll go out and look for a good stage, but I definitely do not want to put myself into a DNF or huge time loss kind of scenario. So I'll get what I get and just keep practicing.
4, 3, 2, 1, go. Right 6 over crest. Caution braking, turn acute left, don't cut. Into turn left 4, 250 through dip.
See, that's a good spot for handbrake. You know, drift through, but it's just not something I've ever done much of. I've only had a few games that really get into that drifting.
Don't cut. Into left 6 long. And turn right 4.
I don't know, maybe that's my western roots that I've
Into
never done the
left
drifting,
4,
but
80. Crest 80.
I would
Right 6
probably
dip.
make a huge mess
Left
of it
6.
for a while until I got used to it. It'd take quite a bit of practice.
Right 6, 80. Caution jump past junction 100.
There's a green sector.
Caution braking, turn acute right.
Keep right. Oh, yeah.
100.
Covered it quickly enough, luckily there.
150.
Definitely missed the braking zone on that one with it out of sight. I let up a little bit, and that's what made the difference.
Into turn right 1, ditch outside, narrows.
I knew it was coming, I just didn't know when it was coming.
Past junction. 100 over crest. 100. Caution, keep left. Into right 1, immediate turn square right, don't cut.
Still up.
80. Turn hairpin left. 80. Turn hairpin left, don't cut. 80. Turn square right, don't cut. Into turn acute left, don't cut. Into turn right 4.
Get around, get around. There we go.
400 plus junction. Into turn right 1, don't cut. Into turn right 1, don't cut. And left 5 continues for 80. 100 through dip. Right 6 and crest, 500.
Still up. Not a green sector. Got the stage lead at the moment.
Braking deceptive, turn right 1. Into turn
A little
right,
ahead on that
down.
one, but not bad. Not a
Keep
big
in,
loss.
rocks on exit, 100. Crest 100, down. Turn acute left, don't cut.
Difficult to read that downhill section.
100 over crest.
Trying to see
finish.
exactly where that would be. Green again, so that is a stage win. So we wrap up the Germany race with a stage win, 3.5 seconds above Dahl, 10 ahead of Vasily. Gautier is 18, Olsen is 30, and Clark cracked inlet, minute 13 down. That will move me up a spot. So final standings here. I move up to 4th place. That 50 seconds from a few stages back that I lost while re-acclimatizing myself to the race, to the wheel. That didn't end up costing me anything, as I would have ended up in 4th either way, but it would have been a lot closer to Gautier. But 4th overall, Certainly not a bad finish. Good payday, 217,000 credits. I do move up a spot, surprisingly, ahead of Manami, who has had 2 DNFs now in the last 3 races. And we can see that I have steadily gotten better on the season as I went 6th, 6th, and 3rd, 5th, 4th, with the last couple races coming on the racing wheel. So getting better there as well. Dahl is untouchable at this point, 11 points behind Clark with 1 race to go in the championship. I can certainly beat Clark again in the next race, but how much can I beat them by? I don't know if it's going to be 11 points. And even if I do beat them, Manami is in a good position to likely win and is only 4 points behind me. So I expect that I'll still be in the elite class come next season. I'm not moving up to Masters, but I wouldn't rule it out entirely. Mathematically, I certainly have a small chance. Now, before we jump straight into the next race, okay, apparently I hit that button anyway. So here we go, we're heading to Wales. This is a lot tougher one with the gravel roads. But it's not the worst race for me to have on the wheel at this point. I should be able to handle it well enough. Alright, well, let's start with the shakedown, get a feel for the terrain, and get a feel for the car and see if I need to make an adjustment before we start racing.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 60 over crest, left 6 and right 6 100, left 6 and right 5.
Woo!
And left
wow, that happened fast.
80 over crest,
oh,
left 6,
double roll.
right 5 60, keep right over crest 150 through dip.
Nope. Oh, we're stuck between 2 trees. Not even sure which button is 3. Oh, okay, it's that one. Well, that was not a good start. And that was just a little slippage.
Right 6, 150.
That was all gravel. That was not a setup issue. I was going fast. Had a little crest and lost the rear end for just a moment, and lost it enough that I hit that berm on the right, and whoop, away we went. That's about the farthest I've flown, and that's 2 full, 2 full rotations. Well, 1.5 at least before we even hit, and then we ended up with a 2nd rotation before we were on our wheels. So I'm glad that didn't happen in the race itself. I'm going to go straight into another shakedown because the car itself didn't feel too bad. So try a second time and see.
2, 1, go. 60 over crest, left 6 and right 6 100, left 6 and right 5.
Yeah, so there's that little dip. Oh, really?
Right 560.
Wow.
Right over crest 150 through dip.
Oh. Come on, I know how to downshift. That was a freak out moment of, that was just down the road and
right 6 150.
You got that little rise
Dip, right 6,
on the edge of the road. I just barely touched it, and it was low, and we just rolled right over it. Apparently I need to just take this a lot slower. I feel like the control of the car is fine. It's just I'm using too much road, apparently. But it feels like you can use the road. Clearly, that's not the case. So, car feels fine. In that case, we're going to start the stage. I just need to drive more conservatively, which, boy, isn't that the story ever since the start of this thing. We start with a long stage, so
1, go.
I do want to get to the end of this in one piece, not destroy the car on the first stage, so
And right
I will
5.
drive a lot more conservatively than I have
And
been.
left 6 half long, 80 over crest. Left 6, right 5, 60. Keep right over crest, 150 through dip. Right 6, 150. Dip, right 6. And left 5 half long over crest, 100. Keep right over crest, 80.
Oh, come on.
Left over crest, 80 over crest.
Thank you, fans, for flipping me back over, because that's how it obviously happens in real life. If you've ever watched a rally race. Which, actually, sadly, they used to be aired so much more often in the United States than they are these days. I never see rally races anymore, except for on rare occasion.
And right 5 continues over crest.
I certainly miss it.
Right 6 over crest. Into left 3 long.
And there is a reason why I picked this game up, that it is one of the forms of racing that I do quite enjoy.
Caution right 4 long, log don't cut 60, and right 5 over jump maybe, right 6, into caution left 5 gate, and left 1 long, into turn hairpin right. .200 past junctions.
Ooh, get back on, get back on. Thank you. Sometimes you get penalties when you hit those.
Caution keep right over crest through posts. Left 6 through posts, jump 60, crest, dip, right 3. Left 6, 60,
A lot of time lost on that roll
left
and
4 half long.
subsequent penalty to get
Into
turned up right.
1 long, don't cut, 100. Caution right 6 crest, jump maybe. And left 4 long over crest. 80 over crest. Left 4 continues for 80, keep in, and crest, into right 2 over 80, times to 1, and opens through posts. Right 6 posts, care, keep right over crest, into left 6 jump maybe, and jump, and keep right over jump 100, keep left over jump maybe through gate, and jump maybe, and caution jump maybe, into left 4 crest, care left 5 long times to 1.
That was close. And that was 2 to 3 speed, and they said take it out of 4. So glad I didn't listen there. Just 38 seconds down. That actually was a good sector. I think I lost a second or 2 there. So maybe I'm getting the hang of things, or maybe I got lucky. Certainly don't feel comfortable. This is not a comfortable drive, but that is the type of terrain I'm on, so don't expect it to be comfortable. Oh, I'm up it. Come on. Come on. I see that I'm moving. You can see out my driver's side window. What am I on? The fence? Oh, we got off it. Yeah.
Left 4 keep in.
Got up on top of the fence.
80 through dip, gate.
Oh, come on. No, 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 no.
Wrong way.
Not going the wrong way. I'm not going the wrong way. Come on. There you go.
Crest, jump maybe.
But I'm going the wrong way in terms of time, that's for sure.
100. Right 5, into right 5 long, don't cut, logs inside. 100 over crest, keep left. Right 6, into right 4 long, logs inside.
I'm 1 hour and 16 minutes down.
Into right 4 over
Feels
crest.
like it though, doesn't it?
Caution, right
1
5
minute
over
behind.
crest, jump baby, gate.
Oh, off again. Stuck on my side, rolling back over. Oh, I was falling back onto my wheels. And I would have been able to drive straight out of there just a few more seconds. Another 15-second penalty given. I'm going to be miles behind here. So this is the race that's going to be the learning experience. Finally. Much more challenging road. As much as I feel like I'm okay, driving okay, I'm doing all right with it.
Left 5 over
I'm not.
crest
You know,
60.
the car gets away so easy
Left 6, 80,
here,
keep right
and the
over
tiniest
100.
mistake puts you into a tree,
Mid over
flips
jump.
you over.
Into right 5 half long over bump, keep in 80. Right
And it's funny because I've always had those little mistakes and not been punished like this before. I'm just being punished. Every little mistake is punishing me massively. It's, you know, 15-second penalty plus a few seconds of being stuck. It's, you know, I'm getting about the most serious punishments I've ever had, besides, you know, the kind you get in Monaco, where that tiny mistake is suddenly a DNF. So at least I'm not getting that. But in terms of time penalties, you know, like that, you just tap the side of the road, and I'm afraid to go backwards. There we go. That's the slowest I've ever reversed out of a situation, but if you saw what was on the other side of the road, steep downhill and then right into the logs, that would have been a bad situation, so take that slowly.
Caution 100 down, past junction, open hairpin right. Left 6, 60, care left 6, right 6, 80.
2 minutes.
Caution left 6, crest.
2 minute warning.
Right 3, long don't cut, 60.
There is finally a mistake that didn't come with a hefty punishment. It's only about the second one of those that I've had here all stage.
Left 6, 150, crest jump maybe.
Again,
keep left over crest jump and keep
minor mistake,
and right
massive punishment.
turn around.
No, not turn around, I was just in reverse.
And left 6, keep left over crest. Into right.
See, I should have been able to go straight over that grass, right back onto the road, and virtually no time lost. And yet I lose control of it, and I start heading straight for a very much out of bounds zone that I couldn't recover from. I had to reverse back out. Maximum punishment. Minor mistake. 218 now.
Caution crest into left 5 and right 4 long.
Now, obviously I'm making lots of mistakes, so that's on me. That is totally on me. But I think all but twice the punishment has been just about the maximum, besides the DNF kind of maximum that I've been fortunate enough not to get. But
keep left over crest and right 6 continue to 100 and tightens hairpin right. Into bump left 4. Into right 4 half long.
Okay, this is a better little section. I said I was going to drive conservative, and I feel like I have pretty much throughout, but I was ultra conservative to get through that last sector, and I need to take those kind of time losses all the way down in 14th. And the only ones behind me with a near minute gap to the next car up were those that have heavy damage. Now, the good thing for me is I expect that there's going to be quite a few cars with heavy damage. But if I'm losing, you know, 2.5 minutes every stage, it won't matter. I'll be way, way back. So, key here, do better. Just plain and simple, do better. I need to drive that super conservative at this point until I find a way to get more comfortable and pick up a little more pace. So I need to go slow. It's going to be one of those tortoise and the hare. And the hare's the one who's all bloodied up from going too fast and going too hard. And then he's going to sleep under that tree after getting knocked out again and again, right? That's the new version of that story. And if I'm the tortoise, maybe I beat the hare. Maybe I don't beat Minami. Maybe I don't beat Doll. I love this stage, by the way.
It's a left 6 over jump. It's a caution left 3 continues over jump.
Hopefully I remember button that I accidentally hit earlier.
Right one long, tightens, don't cut.
Told me where my windshield wipers are.
Into acute left, post inside, 60.
Turn.
Caution, keep mid over jump, water splash. Left 4 through gates.
Whoa!
Crest 150, past junction.
Again with that maximum kind of penalty.
It's the rear right flat.
Oh, really? I don't even know how to get out of this situation. I'm stuck. And I've got a puncture. Turn around here. Oh no, there's a little...
Turn around.
I'm stuck! And I've got... Okay, I'm gonna repair. Minute and a half. Woohoo! Alright, so, flat tire. Apparently I just wanted to take the bump twice! Oh, that was absolutely horrid. I mean, I lost 2 minutes right there. Just a little touch. I mean, that wasn't a little touch. Touch on the wall. And there you go, 213 at the first sector. That is the worst sector I have ever had. Ever.
Into left 6, continues for 130 over bumps, ditch inside. Left 5, keep in. Into right 3 over crest. Crest right 6, into turn left 3 tightens to 2 past junction.
Now one thing that I hope that Dirt Rally 2 does, which by the way is coming out quite soon, just another 3 or 4 weeks, so I might only have another episode or 2 of this.
Jump maybe past junction, 170. Care right 6 over jump 60. Right 6 over crest past junction. Into care left 6 crest bump. Right 2 long ditch inside.
Anyway, hopefully when
right 6,
Dirt Rally 2 comes out,
2.0.
2.0.
Right 6 over crest, 110 through dip.
One thing that they'll fix, that they'll adjust, is when you wrap up a stage, somebody else has a problem, you know, flat tire, damage, come on.
Go back the other way.
When they take on damage, you get notes about that damage. You take on damage, you get, you know, a puncture repair, like I just did. And there's nothing. Of course, it wouldn't turn sharply, and then it turns too sharp. That's how that one works.
Right 5, keep in, left 2. And right 6, into left 6. Into right 3 long, into turn left 3, half long. Press jump maybe. Into right 460. Turn right 6. Care left 6 over crest, 80 down. Turn square right.
So much better. No, not at all.
Right 6.
I'm having just a horrid day here.
Keep in.
Behind the wheel.
Into left 2, keep in.
That's on me. This is
right 5,
this is the difficult one. And the gamepad on this stage, on this race anyway, it's a real advantage over the wheel, at least for me.
Into right 3. Into left 2, long, opens 100. Care logs, right 5, 80 through dip. Right 3 over crest, 60.
So, my conservative drive, not going so well.
Cut 60.
And the funny thing is, this time, I've really cut out the mistakes quite a bit. You know, last stage, I made a ton of mistakes. This stage, one big one. One very, very big one. And then just a couple minor ones. 244 down in 12th, but there you go again. Now there's 4 cars losing significant time, and there in the notes, what I was just talking about, totally blank for me. At the least, it should have said flat repair, because that's the minute and a half lost there. And then yeah, I'm still essentially right at the back of the grid, but that should be in the notes. Smashed windshield should be in the notes. Alright, well I move up one spot to 13th. I'm still behind Gautier as he loses significant time, but didn't lose as much as I did. We'll see if those guys get repaired. Ooh, there! There it was right there. Jump off the, over the water and then just bounce and smashed in. But then it turned me around and didn't have the room to spin it around, plus had the flat tire. So that was double costly. Let's see, engine, radiator, suspension, we'll get you back up in the low 90s. The wheels, we need to get those repaired. Bodywork, that'll get the windshield repaired. Let's see, drive shaft or exhaust. Take the drive shaft. Makes the wheels go around, right? Alright. Well short on my repairs, so not so good.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Right 6 into right 4 long, logs inside, and right 6 into right 4 over crest, into caution right 5 over crest, jump baby, gate, and hairpin left, crest 60, bump right 6 over crest, and crest, down, right 4 continues for 90, keep in through dip, into right 6,
Oof.
long over crest.
That was supposed to be a right 4, I'm down to a right 2. It's sliding off the edge.
Hairpin left,
That was
crest.
super close, but
right 6
saved
over
it.
crest,
there was the minor mistake without the maximum punishment, finally.
left 5 over crest 60, into left 6,
Minor
80,
mistake,
right
no
over
punishment
jump,
that time,
100,
as I got off the edge of the road just a little bit.
keep mid over jump,
Brake
into
extra
right
hard
half
to
long,
regain
over
some
five,
traction
keep
and
in
pull it
80,
back onto the road.
right 6, keep in 80,
And just 8 seconds off the
left
pace.
6, keep in crest,
So much
100,
better.
right
Not
6,
bad.
half long, and caution right 2,
First 2
second,
stages. Here's that deceptive part.
and right 6, 80,
And that was pretty
caution
decent.
crest, immediate turn, open hairpin left, crest 60,
Okay, got around there okay.
Dip, into left 5 over crest, dip crest, and caution keep right over crest, post,
The edge, saved it.
left 3 long through posts and opens, keep right over crest, continues past junction, caution 100 down past junction, open hairpin right, left 6, 60, care left 6, right 6, 80.
Okay, 16 seconds.
Caution left 6,
So that's
crest,
8 seconds
into
twice.
right 3 long down
And
post, 60.
really, that put me in the tree. I was facing way too much to the right, but that little berm, it just kept bouncing me off of it. It wouldn't let me straighten out. It didn't help me straighten out. It kept me
Into left
pointing to
5
the
long,
right
60.
the whole time. As my momentum kept pushing me into it. Finally got up and over it. And then, no chance to correct as I go straight into the tree.
Mid over crest and right 6. And left 6, keep left over crest. Into right 6, keep in crest. Into left 6. Into right 6, 60.
This is
keep
much better
left
than that
over
2.5 minutes though that I was losing before.
Care crest.
So
into
I
right
guess
3
that's
long, keep in.
that's good.
60. Crest. Left 6. And right 5 half long. Through dip 100.
Not flawless.
Left 5
Clearly,
half long,
30
keep in.
seconds.
170
But
over crest.
getting there. Little by little.
Caution crest into left 5 and right 4 long.
Oh, I'm so glad that I decided to
Move
brake
button
there.
150,
I would've got straight into that berm,
and
bounced
left
off,
6,
maybe down the hill, or
and
spin
right
out.
5 long,
Either
keep
way,
right over crest,
costly.
60. Right 6, 60. Keep left over crest, and right 6 continue for 100. And
Remember, we were
tight
8,
hairpin right.
and then 16, and then 33, where we did have a mistake finally, but
Into
not
bump
a
left
hugely
4.
costly one. Let's see how we're
Right
looking
4
this
half
time.
long.
This fourth sector's been a
Into
bit
left
better.
6. Into left 6. And left 6 jump to
I'd be
finish.
happy with about 8 again. It always hurts a little bit to hit the finish line like that. Just 40 seconds, so 41, so 8 seconds. So it's good. That was actually what I was hoping for there. 8 seconds a sector, 40 overall. That's much better. I'm actually not even in last place of those running normal time. O'Brien, Turunen, and Papantinoa all losing significant time. That's going to help move me up a little bit. Still down in 13th, but now a gap opening behind me and others that I'm closing in on. But it's going to take more than one mistake for them to go down. Alright, we're going to get one more stage in here on this episode, and then I'll be taking 1 or 2 stages off camera before we do one final episode, and that could be potentially, especially as it's the last race of this season, that could potentially be the final race before we switch to Dirt Rally 2.0, and that'll probably go into
5,
full
4, 3, 2,
rotation and not
1,
part-time rotation
go.
like this one is.
60 over crest, caution, keep left over crest, down, into right 4 long, into left 1 long. Into right 6.
Good so far. Good so far.
Into left
No
6,
real-time
over
losses.
bumps.
Again, I'm driving
Into
conservative
right 4,
though, so
continues over
there's
crest.
a little bit of time loss.
Into
No
left
mistakes
6,
yet.
60 past junction.
Oh, again, maximum punishment for what? Wasn't even off the road. I mean, since when do speed bumps pitch you sideways when you're, going 35 miles an hour?
Turn right 2, don't cut, bad camber.
You feel a bump at that speed.
Into left 6.
In a race car.
Into right 6, immediate turn hairpin left.
It's got really good suspension. It should not
Into
be
left 4 long.
getting pitched that hard just from a tiny little bump
Into
at
caution,
low
turn
speed.
Square right, don't cut, logs on exit. Right 6, don't cut. Into left 6, 60. Left
20
3,
seconds
long,
down.
don't
Most of that lost on
cut. Into
lap
right
1.
6, 60 over crest.
I'm not even going to call that one a mistake.
Caution right 5,
With that one
into
spin.
left 3 tight over crest.
I know my
Right 6,
mistakes and I'm making
crest,
lots of them.
30.
That one
Right 6,
was
into
just
care, left 6, keep it.
punishment for punishment's sake.
Into right 4 long.
Somebody wanted to take me down.
Into caution left
Just
6
that time.
long.
Just that
Over
time.
crest jump.
Don't worry, the rest of the time's all on me.
And right 5 long. Into left 6 long over crest. Into right 6 half long. Through gate.
Extra
crest,
braking to get
and
in
left
control
5
there,
long.
but I did get the control and it worked out.
Into right 4 40 gate.
Decent time that time.
Right 6
6
40.
seconds, 7 seconds lost. Oh, gate.
Left 6.
Oh no, not off the side, not off the side, not off the side.
Into right 3
Woo!
long.
Got it back on the road. But now, there we go.
Right 5 continues for 80 over crest.
If that
tightens
gate
to
wasn't
3.
there, no problem.
Into left
Gate
5
there,
over crest continues
big problem.
And tightens to 4. Keep right over jump, maybe. Left 6, right 6. Keep left over jump, maybe. Right 5 long. Into caution, left 6 big jump. Right 4. Left 6 40 bump.
Oh, no, no, no. Be on the road. Come on. Oh, I thought I had it there for a second. Nope, now I'm up over the edge. Can't move. I'm stuck.
Right 3 long past junction. Into Into
Ah, that sucked.
Jump. Right 5 long, 60.
Every time it starts to feel like it's going a little better. I mean, that's a minute and a half now. I just lost a minute.
Keep right over jump.
Close to a minute anyway.
And right 2 long. Into left 3 long. Into right 6 long.
And that was just drifting over.
Into
a few
right
inches too
3,
far.
Left 6. Right 4 crest.
And I was on the brakes. I read it. I saw it.
Keep in 100.
Couldn't stop it.
Left 4 long, into right 1 long, 60. Turn hairpin right. Into left 2 tights to 1, over crest, 60 finish.
Oh my goodness, this race is not going well. 12th place, minute 37 off the pace. You know, a minute of it comes down to that one mistake, but that's enough to put me all the way to the back. Luckily, more and more drivers keep making mistakes, and that is just about the only thing saving me at this point. So I'm in 11th. I gained 2 spots, and look who's at the back. I'm still the highest ranked Peugeot. So this Peugeot is not the car to take. So if you ever play this game, especially if you pick it up on the cheap when 2.0 comes out, as I'm sure it will be on sale. Not making any promises. I don't know what their plan is, but that seems to be what happens with games on Steam. When a new one comes out, the older version goes on sale. Anyway, don't take this car. Do not take this car. There's a reason why all 4 of us are this far back and that there's only 4 of us using it. 7.5 minutes down. That is shameful. Alright, well, that's gonna do it for this episode. What I can do here at least is purchase one more car. So at least some progress has been made. But that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my road to the record. Bye for now.